Hey, remember how there was a time when you and your partner couldn't keep your eyes off each other? It didn't need a calendar or the right kind of week or the kids to finally be asleep. You just wanted each other and you both knew it. If you can barely remember the last time that it felt like that, stay with me. The next few minutes are for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Emma Smith. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a licensed psychotherapist and AASECT certified sex therapist. And I have spent thousands of clinical hours with couples where the wanting went flat. And I understand how disorienting that is because you're not in crisis. You do life well together, the kids, the career, the calendar that never stops. You might even be the couple that other couples turn to for advice because you've made it look that good. And yet, shouldn't it feel as good as it looks? I understand the second problem too, and that's the one that no one warns you about. Even when you're ready to face it, what exactly are you supposed to do? You might have found yourself thinking, well, this is just what happens after kids, or the honeymoon can't last forever. Do we need therapy? And how long is that going to take? How do I bring this up without it sounding like an accusation or like I'm ungrateful for everything my partner already does? Or is it possible to keep date night from devolving into a logistics meeting at this point? If you've run those questions at 11 p.m. while you're staring at the ceiling, I know exactly what you mean. So, how did this all start? Well, a few years ago, I noticed the couples most drawn to my practice were sharp, high achieving people. They had built truly remarkable lives, and they weren't in the crises that normally land people on a therapist's couch. They loved each other, but the chemistry, flat. No fizz. They were two people being polite to each other about the life that they had built side by side. And here's the piece that kept me up at night. When these couples would actually get on the couch, they would get the breakthrough, the insight would land, and then they'd walk out and they would run their marriage exactly the way they had been, time after time, session after session. The change never stuck. I figured out pretty quickly this wasn't about insight and that I needed a different angle. So I called one of the sharpest entrepreneurs that I could think of, my friend Mike, and I told him all about these brilliant couples stuck for years in flat relationships. And he asked me one question: why is it taking them so long to fix? Well, it's because the average couple waits 6 years before they even think to get help. And that's when Mike said something that cracked the entire thing wide open for me. And I finally understood that these clients were seeing the problem completely differently than I was. This was never a communication problem. It was never a chemistry problem. It was a systems problem. And the same operating system that kept Mike and these couples brilliant at business, the efficiency, the control, the problem solving, it was crushing their desire in the bedroom, and nobody had ever told them. So I built the thing I couldn't find anywhere: the desire recalibration system. It's a structured way to identify the specific conditions suppressing desire in a relationship and change them. Because a lack of desire isn't a motivation problem. It's a conditions problem. And the couples who understand those conditions stop starting over from zero. Let me tell you about one of my couples. I'll call them David and Sophia. They came to me running entirely on exhaust. They were spectacular in family photos, and the care was real between them, but they had nothing left by 9 o'clock at night. A month after we finished our work together, David emailed me at 5:30 in the morning that Sophia had just kissed him in the kitchen on her way upstairs for no reason at all. He said, "I thought we'd lost this a decade ago." And for what it's worth, that email came at the end of a quarter, so not exactly peak season for romance. What happened with them, it isn't magic. It's what happens when you apply the right system to the circumstance at hand. And that is why I'm teaching this free live masterclass. And I'm not teaching it alone. I'm bringing friends. My friend Alex is a former Navy SEAL turned clinical counselor and one of the best people I know at helping high achieving men actually be present. And then there's Natty, a pleasure coach and the host of the Feminine Rebellion podcast. She helps women reclaim the pleasure that got buried for years under everybody else's needs. Now, there is a longer, harder way to sort this out. It involves more years of waiting, a scrolling list of gurus, a stack of spice it up books, and hoping it resolves on its own. Most couples are on that road. Or you can spend an afternoon live with 3 people who navigate this terrain every single day. By the time you leave, you'll know the habits that suppress desire at home, and you'll also learn that there's nothing wrong with you. You'll understand the loop that keeps couples stuck, because the number one inhibitor of desire isn't what you think. It's not age, it's not attraction, and it's also not even your kids. You'll finally see the mechanics of how 2 people who love each other end up as roommates, so the pattern stops being a mystery and it starts being workable. You'll leave with real language for what's happening in your house and in your relationship. And most couples never get to that. You're about to. Getting to this understanding, it cost me $250,000 on a conservative estimate. The PhD, sex therapy certification, advanced couples trainings. It will cost you one afternoon. This masterclass is free because I want as many people to know about this as possible. So whether you're in year 5 or year 25, whether your relationship's gone completely flat or it's just dimmer than it used to be, register below. This is happening live. So if this is your year, I want you in this room. And if you can, bring your partner and watch it together. I'll see you on August 14th.